The Burning Girls by Jade Maître. Once a month, Little Red Riding Hood must walk to her grandmother's house, deep in the woods. The woods are thick, heavy with foreign fronds, and contain twisty, little-known paths. Little Red Riding Hood always walks carefully, her eyes straining against the wild darkness, in case she loses her way. This day, she feels the strangest feeling, as though someone or something is watching her. There is only the smallest warning, the gentlest sound, stealthy as soft paws on furs. Then she feels a hot breath on her ears, and a large hound-like wolf glides beside her, blocking her on the path. She freezes on the spot, arrested by his large, hulking form. "Don't be frightened," he growls. "I would hardly hurt a girl, especially one as sweet as you." And because Little Red Riding Hood still hardly dares say a word, he continues, "Look at you in your pretty little red hood and your lovely scared eyes. I am not a monster." And as if to prove it, he laughs a wild, barking laugh. That laugh is more fearsome than if he never laughed at all. Little Red Riding Hood withdraws deep into her hood. "Don't say much, do you?" barks the wolf, still laughing. "Where are you going, little girl with the hood?" And because Little Riding Hood has been raised to be polite, she manages to utter, "To my grandmother's house," without hardly meaning to. The wolf's glance falls on her little basket, filled with all sorts of delicious foods. Rosy apples and warm loaves from the oven, peppers and cucumbers, boiled eggs and persimmons, cosy tea candles, and tucked in her pocket, where he cannot see, some matches to light them. "Pass then," he growls, and then disappears into the thick trees beside the path. Little Red Riding Hood's heart beats in her throat. She picks up her soft slippers and runs swiftly the rest of the way to her grandmother's house, feeling the pebbles through her soles, the twigs catching at her hair. But of course, wolves always run faster than little girls. At grandmother's house, a fine wisp of smoke trails from the chimney, and the garden smells fragrant of winter roses. Little Red Riding Hood thinks she hears grandmother scuffling around in her wooden shoes, perhaps steeping the strong rose-hip tea she likes to make for her little granddaughter. She knocks on the door, hesitantly, and then more bravely. For a long while there is no sound, an ominous silence. Then Little Red Riding Hood hears her grandmother's voice drift from the upstairs window. "Let yourself in," she says. "You know I never lock the door." In the house there is the smell of soap and dog. Little Red Riding Hood removes her shoes and leaves them by the door. Then she treads carefully up the stairs, each step creaking with each tentative footfall. She cannot explain why she feels such trepidation. Surely grandmother's house has always smelled of dog, mixed in with clean smells and warm food smells. But there is grandmother. She's in her bed, her embroidered sheets pulled high around her eyes. "There you are, lovey," she says huskily. "Come on in and give your grandmother a hug." But Little Red Riding Hood hesitates in the doorway. A draught winds in from the half-open window. "Grandmama," she says softly, "what great big eyes you have." "All the better to see you with, my darling. Come closer, so these old eyes can see." "And what a great hairy face you have," she stammers. "All the better to kiss you, my darling. Come close, you'll see it's silky." And as she says so, Little Red Riding Hood catches the gleam of her incisors. "What great big teeth you have, Grandmama," she cries, shocked. "All the better to eat you with," the grandmother suddenly barks and throws off her covers. The wolf, dressed in the grandmother's clothes, swallows Little Red Riding Hood whole. In the wolf's stomach, Little Red Riding Hood can see no light. She remembers the match in her pocket and strikes it. There she sees the ruins of his last meals, tin cans and bones, and 3 other little girls like her with large eyes in the darkness. "What miracle is this?" the girls whisper, tears in their eyes. "You brought the light." Little Red Riding Hood knows what to do. She passes around the matches. Together they set light to the wolf from the inside. He lets out a great roar, flames pouring from his monstrous maw. The girls are shot out with the flames as though hurtling on dragons. Back in the bedroom, they watch the wolf howl as combusted he escapes into the darkness. Only a smell of singed fur remains in the room. Grandmother is in the cupboard and the girls release her. They embrace and kiss one another. Then they feast on bread and fruit in the warm kitchen. And the girls forevermore carry matches in their pockets. The end.
Storyberries.